Maybe we're gonna find out. Let's see. I don't know if we guys are live or not. Don't know if I'm pretty sure I can be heard. I think I can be heard. I'm kind of loud myself. Hang on 1 second, guys, just to see if we're all good, able, and ready to hear me. Oh, we are broadcasting. Awesome, sweet. Okay, so give me a second here, guys. Just to do some sharing, and then we'll be right as rain. And hopefully right as rain. Just have to get this going. All right, and we should be good to go. All right, so I think we're all good to go here, so let's go ahead and run it. Welcome everybody to Get Bit, the Blurred podcast. It is for blurs, created by blurs, for blurs and nerds to enjoy. I'm your host, Will Buchanan, and we are going to go over some news. If you haven't seen, we are, unfortunately, like it's kind of passed by, and of course it did pass by me. New York Comic Con, the virtual one, 2020, actually did happen over the last couple of days, so we're going to just review the trailers we saw from there. Also, guys, we also are going to review Amazon The Boys Season 2, that actually did wrap up with the finale that was just released this Friday. But most importantly, let's go ahead and get into some video game news, just because this most recent trailer for Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and some fanboys should be happy.
I'm your worst nightmare.
Well, and there we go. Now I'm muted. Yeah, so as you can see, guys, that is Mortal Kombat 11. They are coming out with the Ultimate version. That'll actually be out November 17th. Now, the Ultimate version is basically going to be the basic Mortal Kombat 11 game plus Aftermath with that. Of course, the second combat, of course, it also will come with Terminator, everyone else that's came with it. Now, the characters you just saw, Rambo, Rain, and Melina, they will actually be part of the second, be a part of the Combo Pack 2, which also will be released on the 17th. This should make some fanboys happy because, like I said before, Mortal Kombat is probably one of my favorite games. Melina was never my favorite. Rain was always interesting. I love the fact they kind of gave him a different look as far as his aesthetics go. Melina, of course, she's supposed to be a Katana copycat. But like I said, hey, some people like playing with Melina. She's not my go-to player, I guess I could say, but hey, somebody loves him. But the real standout out of this, guys, was John Rambo. Now, again, when I first saw this, I was like, Rambo? But you know, it kind of fits, I guess. I kind of said this on my Facebook post. I sat there and said, well, we can now have that whole entire action star movie argument we've always had since the 80s and the 90s. Who would win in a fight? Terminator? Rambo? You now have the platform. But anyway, I'm planning on getting the Combat Pack 2 because I mean Mortal Kombat 11 just seems to be better and better with every version of it. I mean, Mortal Kombat X was awesome, and then XL was great, and I shouldn't expect any less from Mortal Kombat 11 because every time you think they've actually raised the bar, they keep on. I mean, NetherRealm Studios and Ed Boon just keep raising the bar even more. So I'm kind of curious to see how Rambo's going to fight. Personally, I'm pretty sure as he becomes available as a character, it should be interesting from there. Now, With that being said, guys, I do want to go into a little bit of the Comic Con trailers. Like I said, New York Comic Con was actually between the 8th and tonight. And today was actually the last day for the Comic Con. So I do want to go over a couple of trailers which I thought were interesting and I think really will be different if it makes you add to your watching. I know after this trailer, just because of a certain actor in it, I kind of want to give it a shot. But I'm going to be honest with sci-fi. Sci-fi kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. But we're going to look at the first clip. We're going to look at a clip of it. It's called Resident Alien.
I'm Harry Vanderspiegel. I'm a doctor. You don't have anything to worry about. I'm not an alien.
All right, look, that's one creepy son of a bitch, right?
It's okay for people to be a little bit different sometimes.
This is some bullshit.
Okay, so that was the clip they put in for Resident Alien. I'm gonna be honest. Of course, it's done with Alan Tudyk. Anybody does with Alan Tudyk from various shows, especially the go-to one, Firefly, from which we all know and love. My buddy Thomas, aka Mountain Puncher, cannot watch Serenity because of a certain part. I will still watch it just because it's awesome to me. But again, you get these individuals. And like I said, with Alan Tudyk, it's interesting, and at the same time, I'm curious to see where they go with the story. I mean, of course, it's an alien posing as a doctor, obviously, but at the same time, I'm just curious to see where they go with it. To be honest with you guys, especially with the fact that this was done by the same guys who did Wedding Crashers and Family Guy, so you have to think Seth MacFarlane. So you are kind of along those lines of just, okay, I'm game. I will give it credit for what it is. I will literally give it credit for what it is and go there. So again, we can go with that. Another trailer that they did have from New York Comic Con, which I thought was cool. Never heard of this. I've heard of this actually from the BBC, a new show called The Watch. And after watching this trailer, I'm hooked. Here it is.
The sudden appearance of this creature is most likely to be a magical phenomenon. Vimes, you will officially cease to pursue any further inquiries.
You have the right to remain silent. Is this one of those situations where you want me to do the exact opposite of what you just told me to do?
I don't know, Vimes. Is it?
If we are going to die, let's die with our boots on, shall we?
Something wrong with your hand, Vimes?
No, sir. No, nothing at all.
Only true lovers can hear Wayne.
But I'm not.
No, no lovership.
We're colleagues.
Really good friends. Turn it down, Carrot.
Now, that was actually called The Watch. Now, honestly, I don't know anything about this. And like I said, with the BBC, they have always had great shows. I mean, if it wasn't for the BBC, I would not know about Doctor Who or the Sarah Jane Adventures or Luther, which was actually how I found out that Idris Elba actually acted on a television series. And I love Luther. I can actually go back and watch it on Hulu now. But BBC America actually came out with this show called The Watch. Again, I honestly don't know spit about it. It looks to be kind of like a kind of like a police force for the supernatural. I'm just kind of interested to see where they go with it on that, just because it's got those characters that I just cannot look away from. But again, I hope by the next podcast I will have more information on The Watch, and I definitely will be watching it just because of how awesome it looks, and going from there. Moving forward right along, guys, there is another series that's coming up, which I'm very happy about. It takes me back to my childhood, and probably is the reason why I'm sarcastic. Well, a lot of us, let's be honest, a lot of cartoons back in those days made, of course, between the 80s and 90s, made a lot of kids sarcastic. I'm happy about this one, and in true fashion, they also announced this at New York City Comic Con, and actually this show will be available on Hulu, and in pure fashion, they had to announce it in a way that's unforgettable. Check it out.
Alan, this species of cartoon has been extinct since 1998. I mean, these haven't been seen on TV since the golden era of animation. And what?
It's the Warner Brothers.
And the Warner sister.
He did it. That crazy son of a gun actually did it. Clean vectored outlines, widescreen format.
These don't look like reruns.
They're not. I reanimated them. We are gonna make a fortune with this show. How zany are they? To the max. Of course. Then there's Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain? You said you're bringing back Pinky and the Brain?
Mm-mm. Say it again. We're bringing back Pinky and the Brain.
Put your head between your knees.
Boingy, 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 boingy.
Where are they going?
Home. Welcome to Animaniacs.
Oh, that does my soul so good. Yes, Animaniacs will be coming back this November on Hulu. Now, for all those who have never had the pleasure of watching Animaniacs, it is possibly, I'll be honest with you, even though it's Warner Brothers, obviously from the Warner Brothers Tower and things of that nature, it is still by far one of my favorite cartoons. They did have some comics, but that's a whole nother story. Cartoons out there because, I mean, aside from the Warner Brothers and their sister Dot, you had Pinky and the Brain, you had Good Feathers, and various other of memorable characters, especially Pinky and the Brain, which did have their own spinoff. Good Feathers, I hope they bring that back because then that was also a good comedy. That was a good comedy short as well. But again, with Animaniacs, there was some adult jokes that got passed through there that apparently just blew by critics and all them other areas. But I'm looking forward to it in November just because, again, it's one of my favorite shows. And if you've never seen it, you honestly have to give it a like. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, I think Animaniacs actually led to where most cartoons are at right now, just because of how far they actually push things. But to a safe space, because like I said, they try to remain toward kids. However, with that also being said, as we shift through NYC Comic Con trailers, there was another one that may give me pause because, again, I'm happy there's a Monster Hunter movie. The casting, however, let's just play the clip.
The critical decision we made early on was the animation on the Diablos. We wanted to show you some of the shots so you can see what you saw in Tokyo and then what we've changed.
Looks very, very close to the game.
Great. So we have a comparison, the Rathalos from the movie and the Rathalos from the game.
Come on! With the Pact of Apkaros, you guys made something that he wasn't able to do in the game development, so he's really happy to see that. And you incorporated so many things that we discussed, so he's really thankful, really impressed.
If we can deliver for you, we can deliver for the fans.
What the hell is that?
On our 6!
Holy shit. What the hell is that?
Yeah. I don't. I'm trying. I mean, the fact that you have T.I. in this and you have Mila Jovovich in this, and this is also directed by Paul Wes Anderson. Again, I'm not saying again because I'm getting that same feeling about every Resident Evil movie that's ever been put out. Okay. I'm trying. It's just like you Snyder fanboys out there that hope that the Justice League Snyder Cut's gonna be great. I hope for your sake it is. Me, on the other hand, I'm getting Resident Evil vibes, and it's not good. I mean, Resident Evil for a franchise did financially well, if you think about it just globally. But movie wise, it just it wasn't. As a gamer, it's like some video game movies or adaptations are never going to equal up to the video game. I understand that, I accept that, but it doesn't mean you have to be worse. But I don't know. I will reserve judgment until we watch it. Probably watching it from home because at this point, most theaters are going to be shut down until COVID-19 has actually ran its course. But that's only if we follow directions. That being said, I guess we're gonna get used to it since Pixar Soul's gonna be on direct to home on demand or direct to video from there as well. Anyway, let's get to something better. They actually did release a season 3 of American Gods, and here's a trailer for it.
You must choose which way your destiny unfolds.
Where are you headed?
Lakeside, one way.
Shadow? Your father would like a word.
Hello, my boy.
I don't do your bidding anymore.
I need you, Shadow. Stay close. You can get lost in here. You have a powerful destiny. You attract powerful enemies.
The time will come when we rise together as one.
You have no idea who I am. I am a god.
Okay, I am happy that American Gods is returning. Because it gotta be 2021. Although we're not too far off for 2021, we're actually not too far off from that wonderful holiday shopping season. But still, I have so many questions, and I don't mean to go in the spoiler room for you. If you have not seen American Gods, you would definitely need to go to Stars and go watch it. It is definitely one of a series I love, especially with the storytelling. And also, if you haven't read the books, please go back and read the books because there is so much more detail than the story doesn't actually cover. Although I am kind of curious, considering how season 2 ended, it must have been a time gap between season 2 and season 3. And again, it leads to a whole bunch of other questions I don't want to get into because, like I said, if you haven't seen it, please take the time to go on Stars and watch it. You will be highly impressed with the storytelling that is really done by Neil Gaiman because, for one, I actually dig it myself. But moving right along, guys, there is another trailer that Amazon did release, also during NYCC Comic Con. I have noticed that Amazon Prime is doing a lot of their own programming, of course, with the success of The Boys and other shows. And now they're going into an animated feature called Invincible, and here's the trailer for it, which I think is pretty cool.
So, kids your age think they're invincible. And it holds them back, makes them careless. You hear it?
I do.
Were you nervous?
A little. Oh, crap! Oh my god! I can do this! You need something to punch.
This is the beginning of a long journey for you, son. The thing is, you're different. You actually are.
Now, that is actually the show called Invincible, which is going to be an animated series from Amazon Prime. It looks interesting, I gotta say, because no offense, the fact that it's basically about a superhero who's following his father, who's also a superhero, but it's funny that at the same time, he finds out, of course, that of course his name implies that he does have powers. And I love the fact that they do kind of do cheese a little bit of the trailer of, you know, that his father may not have a clear cut, or, you know, may not be the quintessential Superman line, if you will, of a pure hero. So I just thought it was kind of cool that, you know, that it looks interesting. It has Steven Yeun who'll be playing the titular character, Mark Grayson, I believe, and the fact that you hear J.K. Simmons, and I'm sorry, the one thing about J.K. Simmons I just cannot get away with, I keep hearing, and y'all probably won't understand this as well, I keep hearing J. Jonah Jameson. It's like Mark Hamill. If Mark Hamill spoke, I hear the Joker. If there's so many iconic characters. They just when you speak, yes, you hear them, but it goes right back to them. That's what you actually tie their characters to. But I am definitely not complaining. I think that's going to be a pretty cool series, and definitely will be watching as well. One anime I did have, which I am actually looking forward to. Like I said before, this was I'm kind of curious how this will go. I haven't watched it yet, and I actually need to find it. It's basically called Burn the Witch, but I think this looks pretty cool. I figure I might as well show it with you guys.
2ヶ月前にあの子を見つけたの。ドラゴンの違法飼育？
ドラゴン付きバルゴパークスの討伐手続きを開始する。
バルゴさんが読んでるのはフロントの記事ですからね。リバースロンドンの記事はこっちです。ドラゴンとの接触は重罪なの。教えてくれたのはニーナちゃんだよ。ニーちゃん。
一見ばっか。ノエルちゃんに抱きしめられてるみたいで最高。
クラウンカウンシルへ何の用だ。
こりゃ大変だ。
あんたのために言ってんのよ。
間違いねえ。こいつはメルシェンスだ。エリー、おめえにはもう用はねえんだ。
ありがとうエリー。バカしか魔法にかかんないなら私は魔法をかける側がいい。
Now for anime people, Burn the Witch. This was actually looks like it was kind of released. It was kind of released out in Japan as far as in theaters. It is actually going to have a release here on Crunchyroll. I definitely need to check on when that's going to be happening, because like I said before, I saw the trailer for it today and I was like, okay, I need to look on my Crunchyroll and see if I can find Burn the Witch, start watching episodes of it, because that's usually how I find anime. I don't really find anime unless either A, my friends tell me about it, B, I just happen to see something, because I do watch YouTube a lot. And unless I just see something that catches my eye, it's like, okay, well, let me see what this is about. Or Crunchyroll suggests something, because like everything else, it lists everything that you say. But again, with Burn the Witch, it just seems like it's that kind of trailer that just looks awesome. And I just will, like I said, as I find and watch episodes of it, I will give my opinion of it. And like I said, it's all, and of course, Get Bit is really just about, you know, showing you anime as far as things that I find and you find, and hopefully you enjoy. So beyond that, we are going to get to The Boys season finale, and for all those that don't remember, here's a trailer for season 2.
Butcher? What happened? My wife. She's alive. Vault's holding her captive somewhere. And right now, we're in a little bit of trouble.
Are you fucking with us?
Listen, this is a fucking mess. We're the most wanted lads in the country. We got soup terrorists. And we got no superheroes.
Hi! I'm Stormfront.
Who?
I'm the new girl.
Wonderful.
So what's your big plan?
We'll take them, Vought.
There we go.
And I get my wife back.
We're in. Of course we're in.
We blow it up in the air. waiting for their chance to kill us all.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm just trying to help.
Really? How?
We are in a war, but we can fight back with an army of supermen, millions strong. Now, don't be a pussy. Laser my fucking tits.
1, 2, 3, hit it!
She's got a whole army of supes.
We gotta stop her.
We need more soup!
Shit.
All right, what do we do? We can't just kill everyone.
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Oh, great. Cool. Totally.
1, 2, 3, hit it!
I need some power!
We just need to keep our shit together a little bit longer.
Okay, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. I'm good.
All right, hands in the air. Like you just don't care. Kill.
Okay, so that was like the trailer for season 2. And like I said, before I do get started, I am going to give a warning. I am going to talk about the finale. Like I said, season 8. Of course, at least it looks like Amazon Prime is sticking to 8 seasons, 8 episodes per season, and 8 did release this Friday. So again, I am going to talk about season 2 of The Boys and where it looks like it might be going for season 3. So if you haven't watched it, now would be the good time to click off or mute me for the next couple of minutes. All right, cool. So, season 2 was definitely different. I mean, of course, it did fall right into the way this type of storyline's going. Of course, the gang still seems to find themselves, you know, always one step behind Vought, as Vought just seems to just get away with it, like Tom Brady gets away with it, being called the GOAT when really he's not. That's a whole different conversation. But it's just interesting now that they introduced Stormfront as far as a character who looks like she was trying to take over Homelander's spot in the 7, and then it amazed me so as they were literally going through the 8 episodes, how she literally went from being hated to being apparently a love interest for Homelander. You know, that was it was interesting, you know, the whole laser in the tits thing and, you know, other stuff, like I said before, especially the whole fucking hate fucking. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call it what it is. It looks like hate fucking to me. But the simple fact of the matter, it's just that her whole story, of course, they never did explain how because Stormfront was actually an older suit called Lady Liberty. And I guess, you know, for her to be Lady Liberty means she'd be over 60, 70 years old, which again would explain why she still looked like a teenager that's been born in social media. Again, the whole idea of it all is just that how she went from being that to being Homelander's kind of love interest, helping him along as far as him coping with trying to get press in the public because he was still hated on. And then at the end of it all, to be ended by his own son. That was some cryptic storytelling, if that was anything else. But also in the same sense of cryptic storytelling, of course, we kind of knew that Billy Butcher's wife would die. It's not the, it started to look like it was because of, you know, Ryan not controlling his powers and just pretty much heat wave blasting everybody with him, wife, and Stormfront. Stormfront just got really shish kebabbed. I mean, this whole thing, it knocked her back to her German days, which again was revealed that she was there from the beginning of Vought and that she might have had ties to Nazis. So that was interesting. Another interesting thing was, it is amazing how Huey and just this whole Billy Joel, I live by Billy Joel thing just seems to be kind of a theme for him, of course, in Starlight. And we always knew it's always that get back together, will they or won't they kind of story. We get that. Eventually it has to be told. The same way like Kimiko and Frenchie, it started to become that type of storytelling as well. And Marvin being able to go back home to his wife and kids was also cool as well. Looking forward to season 3, I think that the Church of the Collective is going to start being a little bit more of a foothold along with Vought because of Gus Fring's character actually aligning with the Church, and of course A-Train probably being back in the 7, while the Deep at this point might be a little bit darker than what he is, because considering he was trying to go through the Church to get back in the 7, only to have A-Train come in, take his spot, and then now he might feel a little dejected. So who's no one telling where that story's going to go with that. Also, for the simple fact of the matter, like I said before, going back to Billy Butcher, where does he stand now? Of course, with the child being in protective custody with the FBI, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with it in season 3. But I think with the Church of the Collective and Vought still somehow still in business, I would say the boy's job is not done over. However, I do got one question though. I do got one question that did kind of make me mad. How did Black Noir, out of all this, as badass as he was, get taken down by a peanut allergy? Oh, I said to have Queen Maeve literally shove an almond joy into his mouth and then, kick away his EpiPen. It's like, I said, this man was blown up, shot at, stabbed, and he gets taken down by a peanut allergy. That is true Eric Kripke storytelling as if it's seen, because there's always going to be a giant death somewhere, and it's always going to be somebody that's going to take the fall. But in this case, like I said, season 2 did not disappoint. If anything, it ramped it up, and I am not complaining and looking forward to season 3 as it's already been greenlit. It's already been greenlit by Amazon Prime. So like I said before, if you haven't seen it, by now, hopefully, however you watch Amazon Prime, or if you can watch through other means, go for it, because actually you really should. The Boys is definitely a great show. I love season 2, and looking forward to season 3. Really looking forward to it. So, but that's really all I got, guys. Like I said, not a lot in the world of the other worlds. Like I said, aside the anime, really not a lot, because I still, animes I'm still watching. And also, if you're watching this, if there's animes that I haven't noted, I haven't mentioned, and you think they should be mentioned, please feel free to let me know about those, because I'm always trying to watch anime, especially not just the big 3. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we're in the year of October, so Demon Slayer should be starting its Infinity Train arc, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Of course, with other series, I'm kind of going back and watching those series from the 98 2000s, like Claymore. I actually am digging that. Sword Art Online is definitely good too. It might have some drag, but again, I love the story on that one as well. But like I said, if you haven't watched those series, or there's series I haven't seen, please let me know, because I can always love to go back and see those things. And like I said, there's so much anime out there, and unless you're just stuck to it 24/7, you're not going to know. But I always love to share with others what I know. So, with that being said, guys, that's really all that we got. Like I said before, not a lot of the rest of the other worlds as far as video games and sports go. Like I said, the NBA Finals wrapping up. The NFL is right now starting to look like the Mutant Football League with all the injuries. And of course, in the world of wrestling, the WWE is splitting up so many good factions that I don't think Vince knows what he wants anymore. That's just me. But we can go into those parts later on another podcast. So, before I do get out of here, there is some shameless plugging that I want to do. I'll start with my buddies who are probably watching this or liked and shared and did other things as well. I'll start with my buddy Vaughn, or Big BZA Dot, on Facebook. You can find him here, of course, by looking up to him by Big BZA Dot, who has a couple of shows of his own. The first one I'm talking about is the BSTs, or the Intercast, as I like to call it. It's a news podcast. That news can be music, that gives me video games, or trailers. I call him the king of weird trailers because he always finds the most interesting things out there that sometimes will creep you out. Sometimes you know how they get a budget for this. But sometimes, and I do mean sometimes he'll surprise you and find videos that are worth watching. That's how I found out about Rincepal, through him. Of course, he also has another show called Random as Fuck. What is Random as Fuck? Random as Fuck is the pool of ratchets we sometimes dip our toes to take a break from life and have a chuckle. Some videos make you think, some videos make you cry, but their videos are always to a theme. Much like this one right here, where he sits there and says, today's theme, I might be going too far. If you want to watch it, definitely give him a like on Facebook, and of course, you'll be able to see his videos from there, or go on all social media and see all his videos, all the videos he's done from there as well. And of course, he also, and let me not also forget Rhythmness, where you can over the rhythm. As me and him did last Sunday, we did a Rhythmness show. Like I said, with that show, we actually are a group of consumers that literally just sit there and listen to music. And if we like it, we like it. And if we don't, we're definitely going to tell you about it. Aside from that, guys, it's just the whole thing. Like I said, difference in opinions and music leads to great conversation, as you can tell from there. Of course, he does have another show called Funkin' Around, as I like to call it. It's his creative genius, as you'll probably sit there and see here, as he literally shows that he's, as this is way too loud. As you can see, he just basically goes through making beats. As I said about Vaughn, he is a guy that likes to tickle the ivory keys. That's a piano for all those that don't know. And he likes to show his creative process on how he makes beats. And I've always sat there and said I do enjoy watching watching an artist at work, and he is definitely an artist when he makes beats. But all of his shows can be found on his Facebook page, like I said before, at BigBZA or BigBZA on all social medias. My other brother from another mother, Thomas Reed, who is hopefully will be reminded to do a podcast this Thursday as he at the gym, has a show pretty much called To Be Determined. And why I talk about Thomas? Because Thomas is a guy who stays in the gym all the time, 7 days a week really, and does shit like this. Now, if you're a guy that's all about fitness and loves to work out and really wants to make yourself better, both physically and mentally, then Thomas can definitely help you do that, as he'll be doing his Q&As from the gym. And as you can see here, he is doing some, well, I won't say extra shit, because that's really working out the arms and the chest and the shoulders. But like I said, if you're a guy or a girl that's looking to work out and make yourself better, then dang it, this guy can actually help you do it. Be on the lookout from his Facebook page at Thomas Reed or his YouTube page at 2TBD every Thursday, as I will remind him that to go ahead and do his live Q&A podcast from the gym, because he says he's forgetful, but I'm like, yeah, okay. Aside from that, oh, wow, that was a terrible burp. Aside from that, guys, of course, yours truly has a few podcasts of my own. Every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. is the Burned Out Podcast, which is my IT storytelling podcast where I tell stories from my background as an IT person about dealing with special individuals, intended to be funny. So hopefully if you laugh, it's cool. And if not, I'm probably talking about you. You lighten up anyway. But again, it's all in love, and it's a lot cheaper than therapy for get my stresses out about my job. Also, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon will be the How the Frack We Got Here, my political and U.S. news podcast, in which we go over everything in the world that Dorito has burned down, or is trying to burn down, because trust me, he's trying. We should be very afraid. Of course, later on that Saturday between 8 to 10 p.m. is the Off Limits podcast, and I mean it is off limits. We talk about anything and everything, as I talked about black people and voting, and the fact that we should be voting, and honestly, that's why I like this before. It's an uncomfortable conversation with some people, but hey, that's what our whole podcast is about, and Off Limits is uncomfortable conversations. And of course, every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. is the Get Bit podcast you're currently watching now. All of my shows can be found under my Facebook at William Buchanan, or the shows can be found on their own Facebook or YouTube pages. So whether on Facebook or YouTube, if you basically look up the Burned Out Podcast, How the Frack We Got Here, the Off Limits Podcast, and Get Bit, that is GITBIT, you'll be able to see every podcast that I've done this far. Aside from that, guys, please be very safe out here with COVID-19. Wear a mask, be safe, do social distancing, only go out if you have to. And like I said, please try to avoid the larger crowds. If you're sick, please stay at home. If you're really sick, please go seek medical attention. That's the only way we're going to get through this. Let's stop trying to say America our way through everything. On top of that, guys, also, if you see a nurse, nurse's aide, doctor's aide, those that work in the hospital, simply say thank you, because they are honestly not given enough, but us saying thank you because they risk their lives, basically to help individuals out, is worth saying. And also, let's also thank all essential workers. I'm talking truckers, teachers, those that work in grocery stores, gas stations, warehouses like Amazon, shipping areas like DHL, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, basically because those guys are literally having to make a choice to go in and keep the lights on and roll for the rest of us. So, with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what I did, please let me know. If you didn't like what I did, please let me know. I'm just trying to make this platform better for everyone to enjoy. And like I said, if there's video games I've missed, anime that I've missed, or just news in general, please let me know so that way I can be definitely better about that and actually share that with you guys. Aside from that, thank you all for watching. This has been Get Bit for tonight. As we look forward to Monday, at least working with a lot of us, excluding me. So I'm right there with you guys. We'll all get through it. Have a good night, guys. Peace.